Hey everybody, welcome to Geekoholics Anonymous episode 264. I'm your host Rico, here with my co-host
Dane Cody.
Dane. Cody and I get together once a week, talk about video games, TV, movies, and whatever the hell we like. If you've never been here before, welcome. We are a video game podcast primarily, though we get into some, tech talk with Dane's IT corner, talk about toys, talk about movies, all things kind of geeky and pop culture, but primarily video games. Welcome, everybody. It's been a very frustrating start today's show. My computer has been misbehaving, and I just want to smash it. But, hey, we made it. It seems, fingers crossed, it seems to be working okay. Yeah, if you've never been here before, we usually show the BS section, which we're knee-deep in. Get into some housekeeping, what you've been playing, news and stuff, public service announcements, and our free for all section if we have anything. Big day today, Dane. It was the Xbox showcase. And they came out and dropped the bombs and dropped the mic. We will have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do. It's very fresh for me. I literally I was unable to watch earlier. So I literally came home, put it on. So I watched it just before that we started recording. So I have very fresh thoughts,
Nice.
Which is both good and bad. I haven't had time to stew on it, and think about it and stuff. But it is what it is.
So before we get started, join our Discord server, Geekoholics.com/Discord. That's where we hang out, chat, voice chat when we're partying up, multiplayer games. You'll find me there quite often playing games. Don't be afraid to say hi. Jump in the chat. Even if you're not playing games and you see a couple of us chatting, just jump in. So it's always a good time. We love company. And you can earn yourself a free game if you know how to read the instructions in the welcome channel. Very, very, very simple. I think that's it for us. Go to join the Discord server. We record once a week every Wednesday. We usually stream live on twitch.tv/Geekoholics. Wednesday nights, 8 p.m., except for today. We're a day late because of the whole Xbox showcase. We wanted to give our hot takes. And, but primarily, first and foremost, we're a podcast. You can find us where all fine podcasts are distributed on the internet. Soon, Amazon Music. Apparently, that's getting added as a source.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if that gets us onto Alexa devices or not, but our podcast host messaged me and it's like, hey, get ready for Amazon Music. We don't know when they're launching, but get your podcast ready to be hosted. I'm like, cool, okay, and more work for me to do. Sweet. Anyway, Dane?
Yes.
Shall we get into what you've been playing? It's been pretty light. I played something that probably no one wants to hear about.
You've been playing a lot of that.
Yeah, fall down the freaking Destiny 2 rabbit hole.
You're really poop socking that bad boy.
Yeah, I've kind of been enjoying the season a little bit, though it's nothing different. It's just the freaking spinning wheel piece of cheese has got me, and I got to do a few things to earn my Moments of Triumph t-shirt. So I got to do strikes. I got to do Gambit. I got to try some raids. I got to do some dungeons. And I barely played the last season. So right. I was way behind in power level. So I had to grind up a bit. And I am almost there. 1047, if anyone's keeping tabs or care. So I'm ready for the dungeons now. I just need to magically have all this spare time that I don't have to do those because they're not super easy.
But apparently you have all this spare time because you're poop socking Destiny again.
Yeah, but those are fits and
so
spurts.
What the hell, man?
Strikes and stuff are little 15 minutes. I'm not always playing it. It's just kind of on all the time.
So you're playing it?
No, it's it's on my computer, but I'm not necessarily there actively playing it. I'll be running around, dealing with the kid, doing family stuff. Oh, I got a break. Alt-tab, do something quick. Okay, go away, come back. So it looks like I'm playing a lot more than I actually am. But
okay.
I did play something. I did play something new today, which is on Game Pass. That Carrion.
Yeah.
I will say I played like very little of it, like maybe an hour, not even.
Okay. Right.
It's pretty cool so far. It's I saw someone call it a Metroidvania because you
Right.
controlled
This is
this.
the one where like you're the bad guy, right?
Well, I guess
Or
definition.
like, you know what I mean? Like
You're like
you
an
play.
alien creature thing, jiggy,
Right.
like kind of like a space octopus, and you're murdering human beings and figuring out puzzles and grabbing switches with your tentacles, ripping doors off, grabbing people and kind of just chomping them away, kind of like Venom style, like, with the stuff shooting out of you. Meanwhile,
Right.
it's all really neatly, fluidly animated, and the motion feels really cool. It's on Game Pass, so it's on PC and the Xbox. So I know a
Yeah, I
lot of
saw that it's like when I came home and I jumped on my PC, I saw the Game Pass like big pop up like check out all the new shit on Game Pass. I was like, okay,
you
fine, I'll do
you
that.
can check it out when you have a chance. And I know a lot of our listeners have Game Pass, so
Yeah.
the I it seems cool. I'm gonna play more. I heard it's around 10 hours.
Okay, so it's not super long, but it's like, you know, a good chunk of game. Huh.
Which just reminded me of Game Pass. Reminded me of, well, no, I'll talk about it in the news because it's going to be in the news section. Anyway,
Okay. Way to go.
yeah, XCloud. I'm going to talk about XCloud, but I'll talk about it when we get into the news. I used it some more, and then I did some Fortnite with the niece and nephew, and yeah, it was very frustrating.
You didn't win?
We didn't win. This is the first time I played with them that we didn't win, but man,
They're losing their touch.
they're just all over the place, man. They're like freaking chickens with their heads cut off in that game. They do not know how to play like a team, so I don't know how the hell we won any games. We must have been put in games with bots or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, lightning strikes sometimes, right?
Yeah, it's just funny. Like, they just couldn't coordinate for the life of me. But they both got their headsets working, so my nephew figured that out.
Small victories.
Yeah.
Small victories,
So anyway, I'll definitely play more Carrion when I'm not playing stupid Destiny. You just been playing the same old stuff, or been busy?
Well,
Play a lot?
yeah, no, I've been playing lots. It's just like
Nothing new.
nothing new. I dropped probably 15 hours or so into Odyssey over the last like weekend and a bit here. Been trying to like I said before, I'm like trying to get to the end of that thing, and it is such a big fucking game. Like I jump in it and I go do some stuff, and I managed to kill another one of the cultists, and then but I've still got, I don't know, 12 left or something. And I know I don't have to kill all of them to finish the story, but
Yeah.
but it's like, okay, well, I'm running there to do that thing, and then it's like, okay, well, like I ran down into the one area, or I sailed down into the one area, I should say, because I was like, how there's there's the quests that you get from like the huntress or whatever, and she tells you like
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
kill all
Yeah.
the legendary animals.
Yeah.
So I had like 2 left, and I was like, and one of them was like in an area that I thought I had to go to. So then while I was going to do that, I got caught up in a bunch of stuff that luckily actually ended up turning into one of the cultists at the end of it. So it worked out in my favor. So it was like kind of one of those, like, I wasted a whole bunch of time, but at the same
I
time,
remember
so
one of those missions. Was it the boar one? Man, that fucking the farting boar. Have you done that one yet?
I don't know. I just killed the hyena. That was the one that I was
Okay, you'll
going
fight
for.
this giant boar. If that doesn't ring a bell, you haven't done it yet. Spoiler
I
alert.
think that might be the last one that I have.
Maybe it's one of the last ones. That one was a pain in the ass. Like, he farts and it's like this poisonous gas he like puts out. Like, yeah, it's fucking annoying. He like runs you over. It's hard. Anyway, that was
yeah.
literally, it was Pumbaa. It was really
That's
annoying.
amazing. I think that's the last one I have. And he's off in like a island off
And
in
you
the
just
top
you're
right
just
hand
back at
corner.
Odyssey because you want to wrap it up because you just
I
got
want to
pulled
wrap it
away.
up because, like, well, yeah, like I got pulled away originally because,
Actually,
of
we
course, it
have
came out.
we'll be talking about Odyssey in our news here.
I mean, it was so good, right? Like the game is fucking great. Cassandra is such a killer character, and I just like I enjoyed it so much, but I got pulled away because it always of course it came out in like the middle of the fall with all the shit coming out, right?
Yeah.
So like I dropped 70 hours almost into it, and then I think I just was like, you know what, I need to kind of move into something else because like it's just I've dropped 70 hours into this. So anyways, but yeah, I want to at least finish the two, like the main two storylines, where with the cultists and with the Atlantis stuff. And I think I have one more artifact to get for Atlantis, and then I'll think that's the end of that storyline. So like I'm getting to the end, but like that could still be another 20 hours at the way that this game goes.
Yeah,
So like,
it's pretty freaking huge.
because like I'm at level 47 now, I think. So yeah, like I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the shit
I
out of it.
remember
Like again.
doing a couple of those missions, like being a level or two below, because
So
I
they've
got
definitely made it better
I got
since like the updates and stuff. They have made it so that before it was like if you were a level or even two levels behind, like you were at a huge
yeah.
disadvantage.
You had to be
And
really good.
now, right, and now it's like it's hard, but it's not like you're fucked, right? So I'm appreciating that. Um, there has been the one thing I have that I did find frustrating is I was in one area where I would spawn and I was already at 3 mercenaries, like I'd load the game and there was 3 mercenaries on my ass, and like they were either at my level or 2 levels ahead of me, and like that was a pain in the butt a little bit.
3 mercenaries deep.
Yeah, so I had to murder those dudes because obviously
Nobody likes mercenaries.
no. And then as soon as because like let's be honest, you put a hit out on me, I'm gonna fucking find you and I'm gonna fucking put you in the ground. That is like my jam in that game. So like if you put a bounty on my head, I'm gonna fucking hunt you down, and that is it. You're dead. You're done. So yeah. So needless to say, like
I
those
forgot about
fools,
that whole bounty
all
thing.
the people they sent after me, they're all dead.
They're all done.
And the people that put those bounties out on me,
Yeah.
they're also dead. So yeah, I showed them what's up. So
Nice.
yeah, so it's man, I'm like so deep back. It's like all I want to play, and it's a pain because it's on the PlayStation.
I was
And
gonna say you're not
on
playing
the
on PC.
TVs.
It's on
No,
sale
and
on
like,
PC. You start
dude,
all over again.
if there was a way I could transfer that save over, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like as I seeing as how cheap it was on sale, there was a real small part. There was a a larger part that I would care to admit that was like, if I could pick it up again and just start over. But then I'm like, dude, I'm 70 hours into this fucking thing. I'm not starting over again.
Yeah.
So yeah. So no, I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can get the next game on PC. Hopefully, I'm gonna cross my fingers. I would love to get Valhalla on PC. Um, just because I think it makes it easier for me in my life to play through some
Yeah.
stuff.
Ubisoft's usually giving us console versions, right?
Yeah, they've always sent us like PS4 codes, and I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like I'll gladly take whatever fucking codes you want to give me. Like, if you're gonna give me the game, I'm happy to take it.
I'll play it.
But that said, if they were like, hey, which platform would you prefer? I would love to be like, hey, if you've got any PC codes, that fell off the truck, I'd love to grab one of those.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I've been like hardcore deep back into that, and then when my wife's been on the TV, I'm actually been continuing my spell force. I have now got armies. I've got elf armies. I've got orc armies. I've got human armies. I've got way too many people in my fucking group now. And that game is fucking dope as hell. And I'm liking it a lot. So I'm continuing on with that.
Nice. So you'll probably wrap that up eventually.
Yeah, I'm about 18, 19 hours in now. So I like, it seems like, initially there was kind of like the big, like, go get help from these guys and get help from those guys and go get help. And you could kind of decide like if you wanted to get help from all of them or if you only wanted to get like one faction to help you or whatever. So I decided to grab all of them. So like those are kind of done.
You're like, I'm gonna get everybody.
Yeah, man. I want all the armies. Give me all the armies.
Nice.
So now it's cool because now I could choose when I go into a map, like what army do you want to take with you? Yeah,
nice.
like, do you want to take the elf army? Do you want to take the orc army? Do you want to take the human army?
With their pluses and minuses.
Exactly. So that's pretty cool. And so now I got to go find these stones. And so I am currently in the midst of, like, every kind of level sort of starts off in a similar way, right? You start off with your party of, like, 4 people. And you run around the map. You do some stuff. Very RPG-esque. It's like action RPG with a group. And then at some point, you hit a point where they're like, okay, here's a huge ass army. Like either somebody hands control of their army over to you and they're like, hey, use our army to do the thing. Or, you're like, I got my army. I'm going to roll it in and we're going to do the thing. And so that's like, so I'm in right now. I managed to go do all the single sort of small party stuff. And now somebody was just like, hey, grab your army. Let's do the thing. So, and I was like, okay. And that's where
let's
I saved
do the
it.
thing. You know the thing.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to go to the place where we did that thing that time. Okay. And we're going to do the thing again. So yeah. So that's kind of like the breakdown of most of the levels. But it's super nice because like I have this tendency when I play games where I like to, like, I get itches, right? Where I'm like, ooh, I'd love to play a strategy game. Or, ooh, I'd love to play an RPG. And like this is so great because it's like I run around
flip-flopping back and forth between the two.
Exactly. And it's good enough on both sides that it scratches the itch really well.
Yeah, but it's not so long that you get bored because you're 80 hours into an RPG or 100 hours into a turn-based strategy game.
Well, it's an action strategy, right? It's a real-time strategy. So it's been great for that. And it's nice because like normally if you go into a map, it's about an hour depending on how bad I suck at like the real-time strategy stuff. It could be longer, but most of them are like nice. So like at night, I'm like, okay, I've got an hour to play, so I could jump on my PC, play like a map-ish thing, or at least get to a point where it like makes sense to stop. So it's nice. Been great for that. And actually, it's funny. I got my wife. She is now into Torchlight. So I loaded Torchlight. I own it on Xbox apparently. I've been trying to find her something to play.
Next, she was a Diablo nut.
She played the shit out of Diablo 3. She platinumed it, got the expansion. Like, yeah, she probably put, I don't know, if I had to guess, 300-400 hours into Diablo 3. And then she put God knows how many hours into Dragon Quest Builders 1 and 2. But she platinumed both of those. So she was like, okay, well, I don't really have any video games. So she was trying a few other ones. She was trying to play. She actually kind of got into an MMO for a while. She got up to like, she was playing, what is it, Terra Online. She played that till she got to about level 35-ish. But it's a lot of story. It's a lot of reading. And just she likes it where they're like, this is where I go. There's a little arrow. I just fucking go to with the arrow. I click on the button. Some stuff comes on the screen. I don't care about any of that. I can just mash through and I can just carry on with my way and kill the dudes and get the armor and level up. And so I was like, well, I own Torchlight. I'll give that a shot. So she's been, so I whenever we start a new game with her, that always means that I get to spend the first like hour or two
showing her, explaining.
Of, like, explaining and like helping her and like, no, you don't want to do that. You want to go over there. Don't forget to do that. Hey, you have level up points. Don't forget to level up. Okay, you want to make sure like for your character, these are the types of weapons you're using. You want to make sure like, you're
like an on-site live tutorial.
Pretty much. So of course like that meant that I got to play ish through her the beginning of Torchlight, the original one, which is a 360 back compat game.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me if she finishes that this weekend. I think I own Torchlight 2 also on Xbox. I can't remember. It might be on Game Pass.
I know you should own it on Epic Game Store.
Oh, dude, I own it on Steam and Epic Game Store on PC, so
Yeah,
that's not a problem there.
I don't know. I believe I finished Torchlight 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure I did.
But that's a good Diablo game, like, you know, Diablo clone, if you will, right? I forgot how old it was. 2009.
One of the main Torchlight guys was like one of the head Diablo 2 designers, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, it was actually a couple.
Like they have
a small group of guys from the Diablo 2 like from Blizzard left and started Torchlight.
Yeah, so they got some top down RPG cred.
Yeah, for sure.
With that being said, Dane, shall we get into some news and stuff?
We got some news.
The news. Okay, I'm not starting with this story. I'm starting with this story.
Oh,
because this is the big story today. Everything Microsoft showed during today's Xbox showcase. Today was the day. The ball was in Microsoft's court. They had the limelight. They had the eyeballs. They had the internet. They had the summer fest of games.
Their summer PlayStation the summer Xbox showcase, I believe is what they called it.
Yeah. Anyway, we had a lot of expectations for this. There was some very big expectations for this.
I just want to preface all of this with, you know what? I don't know if it's this year. I don't know if it's I'm just getting fucking old, or I don't know what. But I think every show, like every conference that has happened, Sony's, you know, Ubisoft's, and now Microsoft's. I mean, Ubisoft for me personally was just a huge like wet fart in the wind. Super bummed out. It genuinely upset me how disappointed I was from it. Sony's was okay. Like, I think that they did a pretty decent job. I'm still a little disappointed, but it was fine. Microsoft's, I don't know if it's my expectations. Maybe that's what the problem here is. Like, maybe I'm thinking back, it's like back at the beginning of the PlayStation, you know, at the beginning of the end of the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 era, where they were firing on all cylinders and they were coming in and they were trying so hard, and both Sony and Microsoft had killer, like, Microsoft's messaging at the beginning of the Xbox One generation, their messaging was all fucked up, but they came at it with the fucking games. You know what I mean? They had just some crazy looking cool games, and unfortunately some of those games never even came out. But, like, they really came at it with games and stuff. And, like, going through, you know, like I said, I just finished the Xbox showcase. I think that they showed off some cool shit. I think overall, like, it was an okay showing. But, like, I don't know. I honestly, I walked away from it and I was just very like, yep, that
was a bunch of games. Conference.
That was some games. It just, and I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it was my expectations. Like, where, I don't know what I expected.
Said it was the Xbox Series X gameplay, like,
so, like,
coming out party.
All,
so
it was almost like the one thing, like the one thing I, you know, the one other thing I will say is, like, I was a little bummed out about the lack of gameplay in almost all of these. Besides, like, Halo Infinite, I appreciated. They came out. We got a cool, you know, trailer-ish, like, cutscene stuff, and then we actually got to see some fucking gameplay.
Yeah, it was a pretty big demo. It was the best, like, part of the whole showcase.
Absolutely. Like, it was, you know, and, like, it looks, for somebody like me who was, like hoping for something new and exciting from Halo, it looks like Halo.
With a grappling hook.
With a grappling hook. You know, it looks like they're destifying Halo, or like they're
I kind of felt, honestly, I really felt a little bit of tinge of Destiny in there, I would say. Obviously, there's no gear and loot and stuff, but the open worldness, and
they're talking about, like, this is going to be, their quote unquote like last standalone. Like this is going to be the Halo game moving forward, right? Like they're going to be building and iterating on this. It's going to be their live game.
I'm
Like,
not
so
gonna
they're talking
lie
about that.
that like as cool as it looked, I still expected more.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I there was something about it, and I was like, I like looked at it, like there was, and again, like I don't know if this is, I don't know what version of the game this was. I would hope that it was the Series
Oh,
X
of course
version.
it
I would
would.
hope it was the PC
Everything they
version.
showed had to have been Series X versions.
I would hope, but I also know they have already said like the ray tracing update and so on and so forth for this game isn't going to be coming till later. So I like, so like honestly, like I looked at it and like to me, I watched it. I watched the HD whatever off of YouTube this
Yeah,
evening.
I was actually watching it in the background while I was working on my Series X. I wish I had a Series X on my One X.
Right.
Not confusing at all.
No, not at all. But like, I don't know. Like like to me, I saw Halo and I was like, yeah, that looks like a Halo game. But it didn't feel like a next gen Halo game. Like to me,
that's where I
like,
was saying like I felt a little disappointed. I was kind of expecting it to look a little better. Like it looked good,
sure,
but it wasn't like, oh shit, like this looks really good. Like I need a Series X. It just looked like a nice looking Halo game.
And I think that right there. I think that right there was my biggest issue with I think almost the entirety of the Xbox like thing.
There's a lot of neat looking games, but nothing that was like, wow, I need a Series X.
Forza looks incredible.
Yeah.
They showed in-game footage like in engine and I was like, holy shit, that looks fucking awesome. And that got me excited. But so many, like the other thing I will say is so many of these other games that they showed off.
Excuse me, sorry, I couldn't get to the cough button there and had a sneeze attack.
It's all good. So many of these games though are either already like they showed off a bunch of games that are already out.
They showed expansions to like
and they showed expansions to them. But like, I don't know. I guess I just the other thing is like so many of these were nothing more than like the State of Decay. It's just a cool trailer. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. The coolest trailers were all like CG. Like Avowed looks amazing, but like how much of that is freaking real?
No idea.
That
Grounded,
medium
looked
like neat.
Again, but they already showed that shit. That wasn't even a new game.
Stalker 2, it was just a cutscene.
Right.
Hellblade, that looks cool. There's no info about when it's coming out. Like,
well, we got nothing new from it either. Like, we already knew it was coming out. They showed off the original trailer on the launch, but we got nothing new about it.
Like Psychonauts 2, that's going to be a great game.
Sure.
Not new. Tetris Effect, a different version. Cool. I don't know. Tetris Effect is awesome. Great. It's a game that already exists. Yep. Crossfire X. I think all the footage in that fucking trailer is bullshit. Because apparently,
it's a multiplayer game that's already out, and it's been out for like 7 years, right?
In Asia, right?
Yeah, it's a huge game over in Asia.
I was looking.
So they're doing a single player. Like they have Relic doing the single player part of that, which to me could be really cool. Like Relic makes some great fucking games.
I just don't think it'll look that like it looked amazing. Like it looked like Call of Duty on like steroids. Like,
sure,
all the action single player stuff they were showing looked way too good. That I'm like, that's no way that's in game. Like no way. It was a lot of fast cuts and stuff, but it looked really good. And I'm like, that can't be real. I'm like, we're going to have to come back and pull the bullshit card on this one, later on when this actually ships. Because, like, yeah.
That one to me, I feel like that game has the potential to be something interesting, or it has the potential to just be like this tacked on single player like game that's got the same, because you can download the Crossfire X like multiplayer stuff right now if you want. You can go download it and play it. It's available on, I believe it's even available for like Xbox like Game Pass or whatever.
Yeah.
So like and it's very much a one of those Counter-Strike type games from 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Like it's very much one of those.
Yeah.
So for me, like the multiplayer side of it is not interesting at all. That said, like if the single player is actually looks that good and it is done well, like I don't think that it couldn't look that good. It was one of the few things that I was like, wow,
yeah,
that shit looks
to me
great.
it looked way too good. Like I'm like, I don't know about that being real in-game footage. I'm like, I don't know. I thought it looked way too good. Which is nothing wrong. I'm like, that's cool. I hope it looks that good and I hope it comes out and is good. Not many caught it, but like the music in that trailer was X gonna give it to you, but like all sung like melodically, and you really have to pay real close attention to what the girl's singing. It's like she's singing DMX. It's kind of funny.
I think the new game by Rare, Everwild,
that looked really neat.
That looks really neat.
But
I was excited about that.
But did we see any gameplay, or was it just trailer? The premise looks neat. The visuals look neat. The world they're crafting looks really neat, but I didn't see a game there.
I mean, I think what we saw was in game. I don't think that was necessarily like a cut. I think it was like in game footage cut up into like a.
It's you know what I'm more excited about with that one is that it's something new from Rare. Like that's
right.
Great.
That's what I mean, right? Like that looks interesting. But again, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, we already knew it was going to get an update.
Like, 120 FPS, my friend.
Sure. If you have a TV that can support it. Who fucking has that?
If you bought a TV yesterday, you might have it.
Sure. Grounded, I wish I was more interested in that, but like
that's coming next week. PC and
I want to say it's out in preview already.
The other thing every game shown did they not say every game shown and announced as part of Game Pass?
Yeah.
So that's kind of exciting. So
that part of it was super
they're
great.
really banking on the Game Pass, which
they're all also coming to PC. Like so everything they announced, including like Halo and stuff, they've said is coming out day and date on PC as well as Xbox and Xbox Series X, right? Okay. So like that part of it is great because like my whole I'm gonna hold off and probably not buy an Xbox this next upcoming generation and just buy all that stuff on PC and on Game Pass, like is working out real well for me. And honestly, if you have a great PC, like I feel like Microsoft, like they kind of just said, like you really don't need to buy an Xbox if you have a great PC. Like I don't know. Again, that's me. I understand why, like, if you don't have a PC, like, where people would be like, "Hey, I want to, I can have a PlayStation and an Xbox. I get all the goodies, and and you're good to go." And it's a lot cheaper than buying a gaming PC. So I get that. Hell yeah. But like, if you already have a gaming PC, like for me, I was kind of on the fence. I was leaning towards not bothering with a Series X because this was kind of what I suspected was the case, but literally every single game they announced is coming to PC, including Halo Infinite, and they're all cross-play, which is great. So far, I don't think there's any reason for me to buy an Xbox Series X.
Yeah, especially with having a nice PC. It is unfortunate in that regards, because we'll be able to play these. You have a smoking PC. I have still a pretty good PC that'll be able to play all this stuff. I'll bet probably not 4K 60, but my next PC will be. I'm planning on building a new one. So
right, but are you gonna buy a new monitor too?
I might.
Yeah. So like that's my thing, right? Like I'm happy with 1440p.
But I don't need 4K. Everything. I have 1440p. 140 or whatever hertz, which I like. So.
That's my thing, right? I bought a new.
I like ultra. Like I've said before on the podcast, I almost like playing games on ultra wide more than I do on my 4K. Right. And I have a QLED, like a nice like a dope Samsung for playing video games. Yeah. But it's like I really like the ultra wide experience. So
Yeah.
It's not 4K, but 4K is just taller. Like
yeah,
4K doesn't mean it's necessarily better. It's how obviously the games are made and the effects and all. There's a lot more to it than just numbers, obviously, with everything.
Yeah, and I mean, the only upside, and like my original plan was to pick up like a new TV this fall after the new consoles got announced and stuff, but COVID and a few other things, like that's probably not going to happen.
But that's the thing with these new consoles, you'll still get to play them at 1080p 60 with all the bells and whistles, which, you know what, can arguably look as good, if not better, than 4K with stuff turned off.
Yep.
Like you'll have RTA, you'll have every effect on. You'll have the highest possible frame rate.
Gonna suck for me though is ray tracing, or sorry, not ray tracing.
HDR.
HDR.
Yeah, HDR is. I can't play games without it.
So like that's the bummer, right? Like playing on my PC monitor. I bought a new monitor last year.
I don't notice it so much on PC, because the textures are so much higher on PC and the fidelity on the PC.
You're also sitting way closer.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it,
But
right?
like when I have HDR on the consoles, it makes the console games look closer to how visually better they look on PC. So It's like, though I'm on PC, I don't have HDR on my PC monitor.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like I'm really missing anything because everything already looks so fucking fantastic on the PC.
Yeah.
But on console, it really adds some depth on the TVs. It looks really nice. So if you can get a TV with HDR, it is definitely worth it.
So like that was my plan, but plans change.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. The whole 4K 120 bullshit. Like,
oh god.
Like they're gonna have games, yes, that run at that. But look, it's Ori and it's the 2D games. Though Ori is a stunning. It's a beautiful fucking game, but the difference between 60 and 120 is not so dramatic as the difference between 30 and 60.
Yep.
So 60 is the sweet spot. Yes, can I notice the difference between 60 and 120?
Sure.
With a mouse and a keyboard, yes, but it's not so perceivable like the one from 30 to 60.
Yeah.
Like that's where it really makes a big difference. So like again, the big improvement in these next consoles is that hopefully they pull off the 4K 60, and we're already finding the 4K 60 modes with no information. That means you're gonna have to give something up to get there. Again, early. They're gonna get better. They're gonna squeeze more power out of these consoles. We're gonna have 4K 60 is gonna be the norm a year or two into these systems, I'm sure. So
I don't know that I would agree with that actually.
Yeah, well, I have my fingers crossed.
Because the thing is that moving into the consoles, like they figure out ways to get more out of the console, but they also they figure out ways to make it look better. But if they can make it run at 30, locked at 30, and make it look gorgeous, then like that's what a lot of them would. You know what I mean?
They go for that film. They like
right.
They're not FPS whores like me and you. I will say, it was a great presentation. There was a lot of like new IPs, like unique, artful, like just different stuff. Not everything was guns and Space Marines, and you know what I mean. It was a very different palette of games, which was great. Like it was a good showcase, but it wasn't enough.
It didn't blow me away. And again, I don't know how much of that is just I'm old and my expectations were too high.
The thing is, I don't know. We came out of the Sony one, and the Sony one was awesome.
It was not bad.
It wasn't the best one Sony's ever done. Sony's done better ones. But the ball was in Xbox's court to really do, just fucking blow the doors off and do something. I think the problem is I think all of Xbox's stuff is still in the oven, and it's for next year or beyond. Because with all those studio acquisitions, that stuff takes time. You don't just form a studio, make a triple A new IP that is what everyone wants, right? Like that doesn't happen. That's a triple A franchise video game is a very difficult thing to do. It's hundreds of people. It's millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. Like it's a huge investment, and you can't just do that with a new studio. You need veterans. You need experienced devs doing this. So that's the thing. I think Xbox is kind of caught in that, like, a lot of their investment in all these new studios they purchased still in the oven, too early. Yeah. And they're going to come out one year where they're going to have a, oh shit. Okay, Xbox
I
brought
hope
it.
So. I absolutely hope so.
And you know what? And if they don't ever bring it, their Game Pass.
I mean, like, I think with Game Pass and xCloud and everything, like, I think it's an incredible value proposition. And like, for me, it's rad. I'm not gonna buy an Xbox like Series X, but I'm gonna buy, like, I have Game Pass, so like I just like everything they showed. I'm like, sweet, I get to play all that, and I don't have to pay any more money than I already have. Like that right there is fucking great, and I just get it on PC. I will say, very excited. They did announce a Fable game. I was super bummed out because all it was like
teased
a
a Fable game
trailer for it was a very short. This is a CG trailer, and like
with some of that Fable humor, twisted humor,
which what I would have done for like just to see, like, what does that fucking look like? Like, what? Give me just a little, give me a taste of
it's turn 10, right?
No, it's Playground Games.
Playground.
It's the studio that does the Forza Horizon. Games.
Yeah, they're a dope studio.
So
you know what? It's gonna be. You know what? That game is gonna be good, but I really wish they showed more.
I don't.
They would have been better off not showing anything than that weird tease. It wasn't even a tease.
I'm happy that the tease came out.
But
we know that it's coming.
But we knew.
Like, just give me a little. Just give me a taste of gameplay. Just show me what it looks like. Medium. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
That was something that they'd already showed before.
Dragon Quest is coming to Xbox.
Yep.
Like a new the third version of Dragon Quest 11. So by the time I actually ever eventually play Dragon Quest 11, there'll be like a fifth version. So
yeah. And again, Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming with an expansion. It's like that's it's like what, a 7 or 9-year-old, like it's an old ass game. The new Warhammer, that's an interesting thing, but I have no fucking clue what it is. They showed a cool ass trailer that looked really neat. Warhammer 40K Dark Tide.
It's a Vermintide game. It's a 4-player co-op.
Oh,
but it's a different timeline in the Warhammer universe.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure if you've played Vermintide, trailer,
they didn't show any of that.
Well, it's more horror. Yeah, it's a little darker, kind of horror-ish, but you had the 4 players, so I'm pretty positive it's like Vermintide.
Yeah. So like,
obviously,
I don't know.
The biggest announcement: Destiny 2 coming to Game Pass.
Oh. Dude, you know what? That actually works out really in my favor because I don't have to pay for Destiny expansions now.
No.
I just get them as part of my Game Pass.
They did show new gameplay from the expansion, which was kind of neat. Like, oh, that's cool. That hasn't been shown anywhere else, so that was new. So obviously,
I'll play more Destiny.
Is Bungie coming home? Is Bungie coming home? Is this like a precursor to the future?
Oh, jeez.
They're already in the same city.
Yeah. They already did that. I didn't.
Yeah. You know what? It was well produced, lots of games, but it was just obviously everyone's expectations are through the roof. But like, I really wanted Xbox to like come out, decapitate Sony, stand over their dead corpse on the ground, and just like drop a mic,
yeah. Well, boom. You wanted them to do what Sony did to Microsoft. What year?
In 2013.
In 2013, right?
Yeah.
Where they just came out and they were just like, what is like, and like, let's be honest, some of those games took all generation to finally fucking get here. We just got Resident Evil 7 this year, for crying out loud. But hey, we were hyped for it. It made for a good show, right? I will say the Gunk, one of a new IP from the Steam World people. I thought that looked really cool, very pretty, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, like, would have liked a gameplay from Stalker 2. Would have liked gameplay from Avowed. Like, again, what is Avowed? Like, it's going to be first person. That's kind of cool. But like, show me a little bit of the gameplay. Show me a little tease. The Outer Worlds, it's already here. So they showed off a new like update, an expansion. That's cool.
A next gen Obsidian RPG gets me pretty excited. I honestly thought it was Lord of the Rings at first. I really thought it was Lord of the Rings for some reason, because the way it went, just the narration and the way it went underground. And then it's like, I saw that sword with the glowing runes on it, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, is this like some kind of Lord of the Rings thing? But then the glowy hand, and I'm like, oh, that's not in Lord of the Rings. That reminded me of Skyrim at that point, and I'm like, what? Okay, cool. I'm on board.
Yeah.
But that's probably another 2 years away. So, yeah, it was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was bad in that it was Xbox's like opportunity to really like bring it to Sony. But I guess we're just gonna have to wait for that. I know, don't get me wrong. I love my Xbox. I love my PlayStation. I play my PC the most. Then I probably play my PlayStation, because there's so many crazy, there's without a doubt the best exclusives are on PlayStation. There's no doubt that there is no arguing that point, period. You can try, but just know you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's taste though too. I have to try to think about it as like, if I didn't have a PC, how many more of these would be interesting to me on a console? Because I wouldn't be playing them there, right? Like, I wouldn't be playing Forza, I wouldn't be playing Halos, I wouldn't be playing like some of these other games on my PC. The only way to play them would be on Xbox, right? Yeah. And I have to try and put that into consideration. Whereas like,
because not everyone has a gaming PC.
Right. And like you and I, we're unique in that regard, right? Where we have sweet gaming PCs where we play games, and
and it's a Windows machine. It's the Xbox big brother. Like, let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what Microsoft has been doing for years with the PC.
Exactly.
So, we're prime candidates. We have Game Pass. So, yeah. Maybe it's a little hard to get excited for it, because it's like everything you see, we know we're going to get to play. I get it all. I don't have to get super excited when it's ready for me. I just show up and I play it. Yeah, and that's kind of exactly what Microsoft wants. So maybe that kills some of the excitement, knowing that you're just going to get every game they show every time. I don't know. But like I said, I really wanted them. I want Microsoft to just like be on the throne for a little bit, and
I wanted to feel pressure, like,
oh shit, I gotta get a Series X.
When the pressure between, I guess to me, what this felt like? It felt like Sony and Microsoft are, even though they're in the same market and we have people that are playing games, this felt to me like Sony is going, this is what we're going to do. And Microsoft was kind of on a different a different level, saying, this is what we're going to do. And there was not really a ton of overlap, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it definitely justifies owning the two different systems. But it's like they're not really directly competing.
That's the thing. And so it didn't feel like either one of them was forcing the other one to be better. Like that's the thing. Like, it felt like the last time they announced consoles, it felt like both of them were fucking going up to bat, and they were just trying to knock it out of the park.
They were at each other's throats, yep.
Right. And this one, it felt a lot more like, hey, you do those things great. Cool. We're going to do these things great. And everybody's going to win.
Everyone's going to be happy. We're just one big video gaming family.
And like, there's cool aspects to that. But for me, like, I want that direct competition, because that's when we get the best shit. That's when you get the best games. That's when you get the best, it's like the best stuff,
Like, to be honest, the best stuff from these consoles are going to take a couple of years from now, right?
Oh, of course. But like, let's be like, you go back and you watch that new Ratchet and Clank video. Fuck, dude! Holy shit!
Yeah.
Holy fuck! Like, I just nothing that Microsoft showed made me do that.
Yeah.
And I wanted, that's what it was. That's what I wanted. I wanted one thing. I wanted Microsoft to come out and show off one thing that made me go, holy fuck, oh my god.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted too.
Shit.
That's why I'm disappointed. Like, it was good.
Right.
But I wanted that oh, fuck. And, I wanted that with Halo. And Halo looks great, but it just looks like another Halo game. Okay, it's open world now, but there was nothing in it that was like, oh, fuck, I got to get this system. Wow, look at this RTX that you can't get anywhere else. Look at this. Anyway.
Yeah.
It was good. It was not great.
Like, there was just, I wanted that holy shit moment.
Yeah, and so did I. And absolutely, and I think that's where everyone's expectations, we get disappointed because everyone wants the same thing. Everyone wants everything to be super awesome all the time, and we just get upset because we get so much super awesome in this world that we live in today.
Sure.
We got the dopest gadgets. We got crazy cinematic Marvel universes that we love. We have characters and franchises, that have awesome new things happening all the time. Cool high-tech toys and gadgets. And we always have awesome all the time. So then when you just get good, it's not good enough. You know what I mean? Like, that's like why everyone's just always, everything's like, and one more thing, and it's got to be like the fucking... latest greatest freaking thing, and we get disappointed when we don't get it. But anyway, I'll probably still get a Series X. Do I need one? No, I'm an idiot, but whatever. That roundup came from Kotaku, and that was by Ethan. Just a link in the show notes, so on your podcast app, if you want to see any of the trailers and stuff, it's all cut out in there.
All in there, man.
Got everything. So, or you can just watch the showcase on Xbox's YouTube channel.
So yeah, I wanted that holy shit moment, and I don't know.
Moving along. Bungie delays Destiny 2 Beyond Light expansion to November 10th.
That seems like a bad idea.
I don't know if it's a bad idea or if they're having problems.
Didn't like Cyberpunk move away from it, and everybody went, "Oh, well, that's good for Destiny." And now, is it like, now aren't they a week away from Cyberpunk again?
I'm fucking choked because there was nothing at the end of September, and it would have been perfect for playing more Destiny. And then it's like, Kate, what the fuck? Now you're in November and we have God damn it. I fucking hate you so much. And it's weird because their seasons have always revolved around September, quarters. So now they're throwing off the whole, like, this last season has just been, I don't know if this season has an end in 60 days on the season pass.
Okay.
But there's no expansion for beyond those 60 days. Like, beyond August and September, like October, I guess it's a month and a half, maybe, between. So it's like there's going to be this like null space where, like, they've said they've extended like some of the triumphs and stuff, but some stuff I don't think they were gonna sunset a bunch of stuff. Anyway, I didn't read all the stuff. The good thing is you got way more extra time if you want to do your moments of triumph to get your freaking so
t-shirt. That's why you're poop sucking it, to try and get your t-shirt, because you
you got
all this extra
time. Well, like I said earlier, I didn't play any of the last season. I hit level 2 on the last season pass. I was just like, except for I'm kind of choked that I didn't go after. There's like a really good exotic that everyone uses from the last season, which I fucked up and I didn't get. But I just did not like anything they were doing, and it was just like, ugh. And I was done, and I had other stuff. And then right now, obviously, I beat a bunch of big stuff, and I'm kind of like, I should go back and clean up my backlog, but it's like stupid Destiny.
I mean, at least do yourself a favor and finish Gears 5, bro.
Yeah, I do still.
Like, come on, you're on the last chapter. Like, you've got maybe 2 hours of gameplay. Like, so, come on.
This story is from Polygon by Ryan Gilliam, and Bungie has delayed the newest Destiny 2 expansion Beyond Light to November 10th. The developer announced in a blog post Thursday. The studio originally intended to launch expansion on September 22nd. Bungie promised more communication on the upcoming Beyond Light features in the coming months, and information on how this new plan will impact Season of Arrivals. The game's current season will now run until November 10th. Okay, so the counter on the season pass hasn't been updated, I guess. But in the story, they said November 10th, so clearly that's going to go up. Well, I'll be able to hit level 100. I'm 45 or something now.
I guess if you don't play any other games, then yeah, you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, anyway, it's been delayed. It sucks. I'm annoyed. I'm happy in that it makes getting the t-shirt a lot easier. And honestly, that's the problem. I got into poop socking because I wanted to make sure I did this stuff. And then they delayed the game. And it's like, but I'm already in the crack cocaine like addict mode that I'm still playing. I'm like, oh, I don't need to be playing as much as I'm playing.
All right.
Then moving along. Metacritic delays user reviews to ensure players have time to play before submitting their opinions. This story from Eurogamer by Vicky Blake. Review aggregate site Metacritic has implemented a 36-hour delay. I don't think that's long enough.
I mean, I was just going to say whoop-de-doo. I thought it was like maybe a week or something.
To its user-written video game reviews to ensure gamers have time to play games before writing their reviews. Metacritic reportedly confirmed the policy change wasn't implemented because of any one specific game, but was instead based on data-driven research with the input of critics and industry experts. Honestly, they could just get rid of user reviews. Like, I need user reviews on products. Did it work? Was it good? Was it not? Was it a piece of shit when it showed up? Those are more objective. There's less fanboyism. There's still... people are fucking idiots. They're fanboys of products and brands, and I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you.
I don't know.
Especially when it comes to video games. They review bomb a game because the Nintendo Direct was disappointing. They review bomb a game because they fucking hate Neil Druckmann because he has women as the main characters in his most recent game. This game gets review bomb because they insulted some group or whatever. This game gets... it's never ending.
Yeah.
I don't care what some fanboy says about a game. It's going to be a 10 to him. He loves it, regardless of it being the shittiest game in the world. So his review holds no weight to me. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah.
I understand user reviews. They shouldn't be able to put scores. They should be able to leave reviews and zeros, no scores. Then there's no review bombing. And then if people want to read, if people want to read user reviews, they can read them, and then you'll just actually get content of review, and you'll be able to see right away whether this is just a review bomb, this is a troll, this is bullshit. And honestly, sites that have user reviews should be vetting that crap. And if you can't vet that, if you can't,
at least with Steam now, where with their stuff, at least with them, you can see recent reviews and overall reviews.
Yeah.
And I think that at least helps, because if somebody all of a sudden everybody's review bombing it, you can kind of like look in the comments and be like, why is this being so? And you can be like, oh, people are being stupid.
That's the thing. These systems, though, if you're going to offer user reviews, you should have the tools to stop this from happening, or just get rid of the scores, period, and it won't happen. And then people will only leave reviews that actually want to take the time and leave a review. Besides that, I think user reviews scores are fucking pointless. Like, I don't know. I think scores in general are pointless in reviews because they're stupid. How do you just give a number to something? Like, it doesn't... It's dumb. But yeah, anyway, this is great because...
numbers to all of your reviews? I do,
because that's what people want. But it's like...
Okay.
I think it's dumb. Like, I think the whole system is dumb. I especially think user reviews are dumb, and review bombing is the stupidest thing in the world. People review bomb fucking products on Amazon because they missed the pre-order. Because you didn't pre-order, like, dude, it happens all the time. You'll see Amiibo on Amazon that are no longer available, and there'll be 1 star.
Right.
How can you review something that's not out yet? It's not even out. You don't have it. You can't, how can you possibly fucking review something that doesn't exist for purchase? That always blows my mind away. Go on Amazon, look at all kinds of products. And then you always it's always the extremes. It's like, people are just like, it's the worst 1 star, it's the best 5 stars, right? And it's like, I just use them again when I am looking at a product I'm not familiar with, and I just look for a general consensus. I actually just look for ones that are like, mine was faulty, mine was broken, it's cheaply built, like stuff like that. And it's like,
I used it 5 times and then it stopped working.
Yeah, do I really want to pull the trigger on this unknown thing? And it's like, that's when it helps. Yeah. And that's not like, but that usually is just, those are factual reviews. This thing did its
Right.
job. This thing worked. Or this thing was crap. Don't buy this. Go buy something else, right? Anyway. So I think that's great.
Quick little aside, since I was on Amazon, apparently a seller is selling the TurboGrafx 16 Mini on Amazon, and with Prime, $270 Canadian.
Sweet. That's a freaking bargain. Dude, Amazon and Walmart and Best Buy are the worst sites right now. I'm just gonna say, you search any product and it's all resellers. It's all double, triple, and it's like, it's funny because they don't care, because they make more money off resellers than them selling the stuff to you directly. So they don't even give a shit that it's a bad take when you go look at Nintendo stuff on Best Buy and it's all like double, triple retail. It's like, what is going on?
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. Now they all kind of have.
Surprised because, like obviously, like I said, it was up for pre-order, then they went away, then they're back.
That
and
was
it just
annoying.
made me think about Amazon. We were talking about it, and I was like, oh, I wonder if the TurboGrafx back on here. Because before there was somebody that had rated it 5 stars, and people were like, hey, there's this is bullshit. You can't rate it 5 stars because it's not even available.
Yeah.
So anyways. So yeah.
Moving along. This next story from Eurogamer by Matt Wales. Rocket League's going free to play later this summer. Developer Sonic's four-wheeled footy four-wheeled footy phenomenon Rocket League will be transitioning from paid title to free-to-play game on all platforms later this summer, and at the same time will become exclusive to the Epic Game Store for all new PC play. What? So it'll still be on Steam if you had it on Steam?
So my understanding is it's not going free to play forever. It's just going free to play for the summer.
No, it says transitioning from paid title to free to play on all platforms later this summer.
Interesting.
And like I said, the story is people don't buy it. Okay, today's announcement also clarified that Sonics and Epic Games, which acquired the developer early last year, have planned for Rocket League's enormously popular Steam version. What? Have planned for, as most suspected, despite Epic rather slippery statement at the time of the acquisition, Rocket League will launch on Epic Game Store when it goes free to play, at which point new players will no longer have the option to download it through Steam.
Oh, interesting.
Sonic says Rocket League's Steam version will continue to receive full support for future updates and features, meaning players on Valve Store won't be left behind. I guess if they killed the Steam, well, they just have to make an Epic Games account and like cross-save and then move everyone to Epic. But I guess your friends list on Steam are going to be different, and it's been on Steam for ages. You'd probably piss off a lot of people.
Of course you will.
That's cool. They're going to be selling lots of car skins. They've already made tons of money, so sales must have slowed, and now they're going to a Fortnite model, and they're just going to fucking make $1 bajillion more.
Well, aren't they owned by Epic now?
Yeah, they're owned by Epic. They already made bajillions of dollars. They're super successful. So now they're really just truly going the Fortnite route as their. Anyway, next story. Games Industry Biz. This is from Rebecca Valentine. Assassin's Creed Odyssey has 2 leads because Ubisoft execs believed women don't sell. Both Syndicate and Origins also originally featured women leads more prominently. Assassin's Creed Odyssey reportedly would have originally featured only one protagonist, Cassandra, were it not for a belief among Ubisoft execs that women leads wouldn't sell. Man, they should have only had Cassandra because, oh my god, Alexios is fucking terrible.
Oh, he's so bad.
I don't know how anyone could like no offense to the voice actor. Like, you play it, I assume, the way they wanted you to play it. But he just sounded like an angry, stupid meathead. Like, it was just not, I don't know, it did not seem like it wasn't, I couldn't stand him. He was terrible. Even in the cutscenes where they crossed in the game, it's like, yeah. He was on, like, I don't know. He was just Malacca. Like, seriously.
Cassandra, was clearly the main.
She was awesome.
She's incredible. She's such an awesome character. I can tell you right now, I will not be playing Valhalla as the dude. I will be playing it as the chick because
with that one you can switch back and forth apparently freely, so that's going to be interesting.
I mean,
according to the report, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was originally proposed with just Cassandra as its protagonist before the team was told that that was not an option and added a male option, Alexios, as a playable lead. This was also supposedly the case with both Syndicate, in which protagonist Evie was meant to have equal time with her brother, Jacob, which sucks because Evie was also awesome, but instead received significantly less. An early outline of Origins saw Bayek injured or dead early on and his wife Aya playable for the remainder of the story.
That would have been fucking awesome. I was so like you got to play as her a little bit throughout the game. But like, I would have loved to have played as her. She seemed like such a cool character. No, don't get me wrong. Bayek, I love Bayek. He's my boy. But like, I think that would have been awesome.
Yeah,
I think it would have been awesome.
So a lot of this stems out of all the nonsense happening at Ubisoft, their sexism and the marketing departments and yada yada. Oh my god, it's a fucking mess there.
Yeah,
I'm still blown away because, like I said last week or the week before, Ubisoft were the good guys. Activision and EA were the fuckers, and then it turns out these guys are the worst guys. I'm still waiting for the other ones to freaking get roasted, but I think it would have happened by now. I guess EA just makes people work very long, but they don't like abuse them.
That was a long time ago, man. That was a long time ago.
Well, that's kind of the norm everywhere, right? Moving along, still on the topic of Ubisoft, the story from VentureBeat. Jeff Grubb. Ubisoft is keeping a $60 price for next-gen games in 2020. Ubisoft's going to charge $60 for its games on Series X and PlayStation 5 in 2020. This is in line with the company's and most of the industry's pricing since the launch of 360. So why is this notable? Because Take-Two and its subsidiary 2K Games announced they're upping the price of 2K21 on next-gen consoles to $70. But it's also worth noting that Ubisoft chief executive Yves Guillemot would only commit to the $60 pricing through this holiday season.
Yeah,
so maybe he figures like it's like
for the Christmas games, we plan to come with the same price as the previous generation of consoles. That's what we're focused on at the moment. So
yeah, I guess they figure they don't want to pressure anyone buying new consoles, and $10 might be enough to break the bank that people don't pick up your game.
Yeah, plus COVID, plus
I think
they
I said
need all the goodwill they can get right now.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. I thought I said last week, or the week before, like when we were talking about game pricing and like games costing more, but now they also make more because like they've shifted a lot of the sales to digital. Mm-hmm. So a lot of that profit is now directly in their pocket as opposed to, shipping, manufacturing, middleman, all that crap. So like apparently games are more profitable than they've ever been for the publishers and devs, right? Compared to
but unfortunately they're also like, whereas a game used to be expensive and it was $40 or $50 million, now games are $300 and $400 million. So
yeah.
That said, when you have a hit on your hands, you also make $1 billion. So there's that,
I think this is more of a PSA.
Yeah.
Continuing on, PlayStation news. Spider-Man Miles Morales PS5 has optional 4K 60 performance mode. Woo! This story from Eurogamer by Wesley Ian Poole. Spider-Man Miles Morales on PlayStation 5 has an optional 4K 60 frames per second performance mode. Developer Insomniac Games revealed in a tweet. As Digital Foundry reported earlier in July, Sony's recent PS5 games reveal suggested 30 FPS was a performance target for the majority of the company's first-party offerings, including Horizon, Ratchet & Clank, and Marvel Spider-Man. Yep. So Sony kicked off its reveal with a short teaser for Spider-Man, and the evidence suggested that the developer Insomniac is sticking with the 30 FPS performance of the original game, even though the horsepower exists to double frame rate to 60, Digital Foundry chief Richard Leadbetter wrote. While the news from Insomniac is welcome, many questions remain. For example, how will this performance mode differ from the alternative quality visuals mode? Probably no race tracing for starters. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. This
no puddles.
Nice. This kind of bums me out a little bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because it's just like, uh-oh.
Honestly, when they brought in the PlayStation Pro and the Xbox One X, and they had these weird like performance mode, quality mode, I was like, well, that's probably got to do with like these are like half-step consoles, and like they're trying to be 4K consoles, but they're not really 4K consoles. So like that kind of makes sense. But like I figured like PlayStation 5, Series X, they're going to come out and it's going to be like, this is the level, this is what you get, here you go. And like that's kind of what I love about playing on console, you know, as a PC player. Like I love playing games on my PC, but anybody who plays games on PC will tell you it's not always the most straightforward thing in the world.
Yeah.
There's a reason not everybody isn't a PC gamer, and that's not including just because they don't have the money to buy a PC. Like it can be a pain in the ass sometimes. So that's always the nice thing about like loading up a PlayStation game or whatever, and it's like you just knew like this is the same version of the game that everybody's going to get all the time. And like not having to like pull up the Digital Foundry, like, you know, right up on the game to see like whether or not it's better to play it in quality or in like performance mode. I kind of loved that. And I honestly thought that was kind of something that was going to go away once we launched these new consoles. So to see one of the very first games that's going to launch with the PlayStation 5 saying that this is something that they're retaining, that kind of bums me out a little bit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like, why not
first gen, first swath of games.
I don't like, if this is something that's happening right off the bat, I don't see it going away. And like on the one hand, there's a cool thing where like choice, right? The people that like would prefer to have a 60 FPS experience versus the people that just want all the eye candy and they're willing to play it at 30. Like I think it's cool that they're offering that choice. But you know, it's a little bit of like half a dozen of those and 6 of those, and you know, like I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. I guess we'll see, but
yeah.
I was hoping that like half step nonsense was gonna kind of go away.
Nah, not immediately. Summer Game Fest. PlayStation 5 DualSense controller hands-on with Astro's Playroom gameplay. This was from Gamatsu, Sal Romano, Jeff Keighley. Surprise, dropped the little video. When was this? This was last week. I think the day after we recorded.
Earlier this week, I want to say.
It was like last Friday.
Or something. Oh, okay.
So it was like after we recorded.
Right.
We teased it the day after we recorded, and then the next day he did it. It's like, hey, here's me with the DualShock controller, and here's Astrobot comes packed in, and then the other big, you know, part of this.
You mean DualSense controller?
Yeah, DualSense, sorry. The other big part was that Eric Lempel, marketing dude from Sony, was on stream in an interview following, and he said that Sony is not gonna, you know, just launch pre-orders, because there's been a lot of buzz on the internet that Sony's gonna do pre-orders this Monday. Sony, like, they're just gonna do it and then just launch it, and
right.
Like, nope, we're gonna give consumers advance notice so when pre-orders
we'll let you know when we're gonna do it.
So
it's not just gonna be like Happy Monday.
We're gonna have some time to crash all your favorite retailers' websites the morning of.
Yeah, so I wish they would just announce this shit already, because
it's so annoying.
I would actually like to know when this shit's gonna launch, because I want to pay. I have a whole bunch of time that I'm not planning on going to fucking Hawaii and shit anymore.
Yeah.
So now I got a whole bunch of time. So I'm like, I might as well use some of that time to enjoy the new PlayStation 5 on the day that it comes out.
Have a staycation, a gameplay staycation.
But if I don't know far enough advance, I can't do that. So I'm like sitting there going like, I would really like it if you guys would announce when that's coming out so I can get that time off. But anyways, my problems. So
Nintendo had a mini direct. I didn't really care for anything that was announced. It was an indie, or like not indie, but like a third party kind of mini direct. The internet blew up. They were not happy at all, because obviously they were expecting a lot of stuff. Nintendo tried to dial in expectations, but man, forget it. Not with Nintendo fans. You can't.
It's wild. They said like this is going to be third party. It's going to be indies
and mini. Keyword mini means small, not anything huge.
And how the internet suddenly was like, "Oh, we're gonna get fucking Metroid," and like, I don't. How do you get that?
Metroid and Smash characters and whatever's next for like Switch this fall, because they haven't done their E3 thing, which I don't think they're going to at all. Or if they do, they're gonna surprise drop it, I guess. Because
I don't know.
We don't know what's really next. There's a Pokemon expansion in the fall, and then
Breath of the Wild 2 at some point.
Well, yeah, not this year. Like, we have no fucking clue. Rumors of a Mario collection. So everyone was just praying to get all that stuff, and they didn't. We got Cadence of Hyrule's getting more Zelda DLC. Rogue Company is a third-person multiplayer shooter. That's not just on Switch. That's on other stuff too, right?
No, it's on the Epic Game Store. It's on Switch. It's coming on PlayStation.
That seemed to be the thing most people were excited about.
So that's the new game by Hi-Rez. So that's the same studio that did Smite and the hell's their other game. Anyways, it's from them. I've downloaded it. I have yet to play it. It's a third-person multiplayer shooter.
I missed out on there was beta keys on some stupid site, and I just got busy and forgot to register for it.
So, yeah, oops. I grabbed one last night and
look at you, Mr.
Installed it.
Lucky you. WWE Battlegrounds is coming to Switch. Yay. Shin Megami Tensei 3 is getting a release on Switch. And then they also said
the PS2 remake.
And they said number 5 is also coming in development. So
that's pretty cool.
That is
Shin
cool.
Tensei 3 Nocturne was a fucking cool game. It was hard as hell.
It's Atlus's other RPG that's nowhere near as cool as Persona, but it's still good.
Actually, here's a little history lesson.
No, that's fucking fighting words. Yeah, they split off, didn't they, or something like that? Or
Shin Megami Tensei Persona and Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne were like two separate splits from the Shin Megami Tensei, and then after was it Persona 3 is when they dropped the Shin Megami Tensei before it. So in your face.
Yeah.
Shin Megami Tensei games are a lot more.
They're more futuristic and sci-fi, right?
They're pretty
darker. Yeah,
they're real dark. It has a lot to do with it has all to do with like demons and familiars, and you literally shoot yourself in the head, and yeah, it's crazy. Cool games.
Where are we? Xbox. We talked about the showcase. We didn't talk about Game Pass is getting xCloud streaming.
At no additional cost.
This story from VentureBeat by Jeff Grubby Grub. xCloud's coming to Game Pass Ultimate, no additional cost. I don't know what more else to say besides I've actually been playing some Destiny on xCloud, and it works on a LTE connection. I wouldn't do any like raids or like multiplayer, I don't think, and it's gonna vary by obviously your signal strength, but like it was pretty goddamn good. I was using a PlayStation 4 controller on Bluetooth on my Pixel 3, and yeah, it was great. I will say that I like the Xbox controller mount for holding the cell phone better, because the way it distributes weight is more comfortable.
Sure.
Because it like puts the phone above the controller, so it's all like there's no pulling away from you.
Yeah, it's constantly pulling forward.
Like that's the problem with the controller cell phone mounts, is that the ones with the cell phone on the like just on top of the controller, it always kind of has this upward like it's pulling away from you because your phone is.
Yeah.
Most phones are more heavy than a controller, or they're very close, but it just feels weird. It's kind of annoying. So you're always like moving your hands. But I found with the Xbox one, because you can kind of like hinge, it's got a double hinge. You can get in a way more comfortable position. So like for like mobile streaming, I really like their bracket the best. So
I'm not gonna lie, man. When they announced this, it actually made me go online and I started looking at the Razer Kishi, which is their grip. So you put your phone in the middle and it's got the controller on the sides. That's totally compatible with all of this. And because I don't have like my Xbox, I have two Xbox One controllers, but they're both
they're non-Bluetooth. Yeah,
neither one of them are Bluetooth. And like my PlayStation controllers are great, but the battery life on them is terrible.
Yeah.
Whereas like this thing is so small, I could just like slide it out and like I could like fucking leave it.
That thing looks cool. The only thing that drives me nuts about it is like it's like the lines on it. Just your phone like is smaller.
Oh, I could give a shit about that.
I know. It just bugs me. It's dumb. It's stupid.
Yeah, but the thing is that they made another one. So if you look, the Razer Jungle Cat is all super sleek and looks fucking dope as hell. The problem is that it only works for like 3 fucking phones because it's the same thing.
It's not versatile. Because like,
so that's the thing.
Because your phone actually fits into a proper case.
Right. Yeah, it fits into a case, and then that case goes in between and everything, right? So the thing is, like, reading reviews on this thing, like, it's great because, you know, it obviously, unless you have a giant phone or unless you have a tiny phone, like, it works surprisingly well.
Yeah.
And it's not Bluetooth, which is cool. So you don't get the Bluetooth lag because, like, let's be honest, the Bluetooth can be a little problematic sometimes. So it's using the USB-C ports. Yeah, no, and it's like it's essentially got like an Xbox One sort of style. Apparently, it feels very similar to like an Xbox One. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need batteries. It doesn't need any of that because it's just running like off your phone.
Yeah,
it's just
Like, I will say I'm glad they finally came out.
Sick, man. I'm like.
I have control. I can't justify it because I have the controllers that work. I don't play it enough to justify it yet, but that's the thing. xCloud is still like in beta, so like
that's the thing, right? This works with xCloud. This works with Stadia. This works with,
and I think that's the other problem. Like with because you can do remote play on PlayStation now as well on your cell phone, but you have to use a DualShock for that, which is fucking annoying. So you don't have the perfect solution. Like you can use the PlayStation with both, but then the mount isn't as comfortable as the Xbox One. I'm like, God fucking damn it! You guys are always.
It's also got like the pass-through charging. So like you plug it in, and if you're playing for a long time, it's got the plug at the bottom. It's like I said, the thing that I have a hard time with is they're asking $129.
Yeah,
Canadian, and that's like
it's $150 after taxes.
If it was $100, I'd be like,
$100.
That's a little pricey, but and it's
if it was $100, it would be an easier pill to swallow. But $150 is like after tax, like,
right?
Do I play? I don't play any mobile games to go spend $150. Am I all magically going to start playing? Like, am I in places where you have good? Because that's the thing too. Like, xCloud actually lets you play on LTE, whereas like Stadia and last time I tried Stadia, maybe I wasn't in a good enough connection, so you can correct me on this, but like I don't think I had good enough. I didn't think I could play on LTE on Stadia. It wouldn't let me because I was trying to play some Destiny on that 2-month trial that they gave us,
and they were just
and it wouldn't work. Like I had to be on Wi-Fi, so I'm like, okay, whatever. It might have been just that I had a bad connection, but I had a good experience with xCloud. I played for like a little while in fits and spurts last week, and I forgot to talk about it on the show last week. But really excites me that it's part of Ultimate. And then everyone at Google went, "Oh fuck."
Yeah. like I said, it made me look at getting a fucking like, controller for my phone because I was like, shit, man, I could play like xCloud. You know, it's great when you go to like visit family and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I could play.
Yeah, like I remember I was at my parents' house. It was during Black Flag days, and
Right.
I was really addicted to playing Black Flag, and I remote played a lot of that game at my parents' house. Like when I was
So there's shit
hiding in the corner. Well, no, there was shit going on, and I didn't need to be around every minute. And it's like,
yeah.
crackhead video game player Rico.
Yep.
On the Xbox train, the story from Sal Romano from Gamatsu. Xbox One X and Xbox One S all digital edition production discontinued ahead of Series X launch. One S will continue to be manufactured.
Right.
Microsoft is discontinuing One X, One S all digital edition. As we ramp into the future with Series X, we're taking the natural step of stopping production on blah blah blah. And Microsoft versus, I just don't want to say it again. I said it like 3 times. Like Jesus Christ. Spokesperson told The Verge, Xbox One S will continue to be manufactured and sold globally. Although production of the platforms is being discontinued, it is likely there will still be some stock. Well, there's clearly stock. It's what they have on the shelves right now. So
essentially, once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, because they're gonna be they're gonna flog S's at $99. Or the Lockhart's eventually going to come in and be the middle ground. I don't know. Rumors about August and Lockhart stuff. It's not surprising, but it just goes to show you how little they're selling that they're like, okay, we're just not going to make these anymore because there is no point.
Well, I mean, I also think that Microsoft's always been a lot more like towards the end of a generation, they tend to be a lot more like, okay, we're gonna stop selling any more of these.
Cut fucking ties.
It's not gonna be overlap. You know what I mean? Like, whereas like Sony, like they produced the fucking PlayStation 3 for years after the PlayStation 4 came out. And obviously like the PlayStation 2, fuck, you could probably still buy the PlayStation 2 in some places. Like, you know what I mean? Like they've always essentially said that every one of their consoles is going to get 10 years of support, and I think that they've pretty much always hit that. Some of them more than that even. So it's not surprising. Like, why wouldn't you like let the stock that's in the channel, get out of there so that you can get the new stuff in? It makes sense. And they're obviously still making the S, which is kind of interesting. I would be very curious if the rumors of them just dropping the S to like $100 or something that cheap. Because like that would be a very like, can you imagine Christmas time comes around, the new Halo Infinite is out, and you can buy $100 or $150 like Xbox Series or Xbox S
with your Game Pass subscription,
with Game Pass or whatever.
So you don't have to buy the game. You got a system for super cheap, and it plays on there. And or who knows, potentially the xCloud, like even better looking version, is playable on your crappy cheap system, Trojan horse, because you're hardwired. You're at home. There'll probably be like very little lag in an instance like that. Like if they had that running really well, you may not even need a Series X. You just continue with your existing Xbox and xCloud. Like that could be a big part of the play too, right? Like we all know that xCloud and Stadia are still too ahead of the curve for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Like for the internet infrastructure that's out there, and some people still can't wrap their mind about it. It's like, remember the transition from, no, I want my Outlook mailbox stored on my PC. I need to have my files locally on my PC so my hard drive can fail, and then it's gone forever because I didn't do backups and I'm pissed off. Or I could have shit in the cloud and it's with me everywhere, and everyone just, I don't think anyone can function without cloud now. But there was a fight to that. Like no one wanted that. No, I want my files locally. And this is the same thing. I want my games installed locally. But one day,
oh, definitely. I don't think that I can argue that one day the technology and the internet will be so
good. Microsoft's play here, obviously, because like that's the thing. Like, if you sell a box for $100, they don't give a shit if you have a Series X. You're paying them that $15 a month. They're making more money off of you than the random person who buys Madden and Call of Duty every year. Do you know what I mean? So,
oh, for sure.
And that's the long play. We all know it. It's a smart play.
Oh,
moving along.
It's interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is super interesting. It's gonna be fun to see all this stuff in a year or so, or 2 years, and it's like see where we are. That's the end of our news. That brings us to our public service announcements. Right now on Xbox, there are over 70 game demos available to play as part of the Xbox Summer Event. This story from Polygon and from Karen Hahn. The ID at Xbox Summer Game Fest demo event is now underway. This just like snuck under the radar. Like I didn't even realize this was happening.
Sneaky.
Yeah, so from July 21st to the 27th, so like a couple days ago into next week, so through the weekend. Yeah, there's like 70 plus games on Xbox One that you can go through and play. I believe Carrion is one of those games. If you don't, is there a list here? They don't have a list.
I mean, there's 70 games. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Go to your Xbox One dashboard. You'll find the link. Play something new. Maybe you'll find something even on the fence about. Other public service announcement, also from Polygon, from Austin Goslin. Star Wars: The Old Republic is available on Steam. So it
wasn't before?
No, I don't think so. I don't know why this would be a story if it wasn't. It's that was Origin, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Origin. It was an EA game, right?
Well, I want to say that launched before Origin was even a thing. Like,
I don't know. I can't remember.
This is their MMO, right? Like this is.
Yeah, it was a standalone game back in 2011. Yeah, eventually added to Origin.
Yeah.
So it had its own launcher.
Yeah, because it's an MMO. Of course it did.
Yeah, because why every game should just have a launcher you click on your desktop and it plays. Like, who needs other shit? But hey, here we are where every game has a store and a marketplace. But yeah, it's on Steam. It's free to play now. Obviously, you got to pay to get some of the premium stuff. But
oh yeah,
if you wanted to check it out and we're like held away because Origin, if you'll check it out, I played a bounty hunter. I went through a couple classes because they had like from the start of the game to like I can't remember the level cap. Was it 60? Basically, each class is kind of single player. They had like a single player voice acted story that you progressed through.
Oh, dude, that game has a killer story. Each one of the characters has a dope story, or the classes, I should say. Sorry.
Yeah, so it was
a dope story. Really, really neat.
It was really cool. The only problem I had with that game is late game got so fucking grindy. Like, it was absurdly hard, but like up until that point, like not hard, just time consuming. But like I really liked the stories, and it was like doing something no other MMO did. Like in that it. Like, MMOs get you connected to, like, lore and playing with your friends. But this was just, like, a single-player RPG with, like, a, like, humongous, massive fucking world. And it was also...
with your friends.
Yeah, that you could play with your friends. And the whole voice-acted, like, missions and stuff were really cool. Because everything else, up until that point, was, here's a fucking text box. Go kill 10 boars. Yeah. Very, very exciting.
That game, when it went free to play, everybody was like, I remember I was very excited about it because I was like, oh, cool, I'll check it out. It is one of the most egregious, like, it does the whole, yes, it's free to play, yes, you can download it, but it constantly beats you over the head. If you were a premium member, you would get this, and if you were a premium member, you would get this.
No, it's like after you finish every mission, it rubs it in your face what you're missing out on.
Totally like that. It's like, hey, if you were a premium member, this is all the other shit you would have got. Oh, you can't unlock this yet because if you were a premium member, you could unlock it now.
Hey, if you weren't a broke ass, you could have this cool shit. If you weren't so money conscious, you could have this cool shit. If you weren't a sucker,
bad. Like I was it. it got to the point where it was like it was the whole oh, you want more storage? If you were a premium member, you'd have more storage. And I was like, fuck you! I'm not paying for a bigger bag.
That's pretty freaking funny, actually.
Yeah. Anyways, so
moving along. Epic Game Store freebies this week are Next Up Hero and Tacoma.
Yeah.
Yay.
Wait, they're up right now because
we're a day late. So
yeah, exactly. They're up. I have already grabbed them.
I have not grabbed them. That's more of a reminder for me to grab them. And then what else we got? I think that's about it. You're writing something.
I am.
You're putting stuff on the free for all. So shall we get into the free for all? Dane watch some Netflix.
Dude. Okay, so I should have put these in the opposite order. I finished Warrior Nun. It's not super long.
Is that a movie or a series?
It's a series. It's like 10 episodes.
Cursed is a movie, right?
No, Cursed is a series.
Oh, god damn it. Don't have time for these fucking series.
So, Warrior Nun started off a little weak. I was kind of like, after the first couple episodes, I was like, I don't know. It's kind of intriguing. I'm like, really like what they got going on, but I'm not sure. And by the end, I was super fucking in, and then it ended, and I was like, you motherfuckers. If you don't get a second season, I'm going to be so choked. It ends on such a cliffhanger, and even my wife was like super into it, and then it ended, and she was like, wait, was that the last episode? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, oh, fuck this. Fuck these guys. That's bullshit. I can't believe that. She's like, if they don't get a second season, she's like, I hate this. I hate the show. It was great. I really enjoyed. Like I said, we both got super into it. A little bit of a slow start, but man, it went places, and I'm super into it. Cursed, man. Cursed
has come up in my timeline. Warrior Nun has not.
Oh, dude, Warrior Nun is like huge. It's blowing up everywhere. So I don't know what the hell your timeline sucks. I don't know.
Maybe I'm just not spending as much time. That's the problem with fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
If you're not stuff, you could miss stuff.
Yeah, no, Warrior Nun was huge. It was like one of the biggest things that they'd had in a while. It was very, very big.
Okay, Cursed. Sorry, I took you off track.
Cursed. Yeah, Cursed, man. We're 2 episodes. We watched 3 episodes so far. I don't know. I think it's only like 10 because, of course, it's like a Netflix series,
which is great. Like not too little, not too much.
Yes. So like, oh, it's like this cool like twist on the King Arthur lore of like the legend. It was created by Frank Miller, the comic book writer. It's based on like his comic book like series.
Is he involved?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, that piques my interest. I like his shit.
Yeah, he's one of the producers. So fucking cool.
It is good?
It's so cool.
Maybe I'll watch that after.
Like I said, it's like I don't know how familiar you are with the like the King Arthur lore. You know, the lady.
A little bit. Like I don't know.
Like this is so like at some point Merlin creates a sword, and it's called the Sword of Power, and the whole idea is that whoever wields the sword rules like Britain, right? That's like the kind of the idea.
Yeah.
And like this whole show is like about the sword, and Merlin is there, and what's going on.
Does it like revolve around a girl though?
Yeah, so she's a Fae-born, which is like she's what they call Fae kind. She's not 100% Fae, which is like fairy people, but she's like very. I think she's like a half or a cousin. I don't know. She has magic in her blood. How's that?
Sounds good.
And there's these whole asshole people that are trying to murder all the Fae because they think that they're doing God's work. Kind of nonsense. So there's that whole thing going on. And then you've got Merlin and his whole nonsense that's going on, which is fucking great. Merlin is like, he's at this point in the story, he has lived like 1,000 years and he has seen a lot of shit. And
good acting.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Fuck,
The
man.
characters are so good.
I wasn't sure because we've been watching Ozark on Netflix, which we're like almost done, me
Yep.
and the wife. And I
Right.
said, Kirst has been getting hyped on the landing page
Oh
when
yeah.
you open Netflix, and it's like the trailer's like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch this. I'm like, the effects, I don't know if they're that great or not. I can't tell.
It's good. Like, I mean, yeah, I haven't had any like issues with the effects. Like, it's been very well
I
done.
also haven't watched the trailer because it starts with that girl grabbing a sword and there's a bunch of wolves around her.
Yep.
And I gotta fucking change it because my dog will go crazy seeing all the freaking wolves on the screen. So
It's a very very short period.
that's cool.
But yeah, no. So it's like
I
like I,
don't think
I don't know.
I saw the trailer for Warrior Nun and I was like, I don't think I'll go for that one. But Cursed has piqued my interest,
Cursed is fucking.
especially knowing Frank Miller, like Sin City. Like, come on, the guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, he's amazing.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's very
Um,
cool. I highly recommend it. It's very much not a like. I mean, my wife calls it dark and twisted, but I don't feel like it's that dark and twisted.
Yeah.
But it's it's a more mature show for sure.
yeah.
But no, I'm really enjoying it. It's
Cool,
great.
sweet. I was interested, but now you've really piqued my interest. Speaking of watching,
high fantasy stuff, man, that's
yeah.
fucking right up my alley right now. So.
Speaking of watching stuff, a few of us in the Discord have been rewatching all the Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff.
Oh, I
So-
wish I could. get on
So
that.
I've watched a few of the movies.
Yep.
I'm not paying to watch freaking the Hulk, so it's just stuff on Disney.
Wait.
I want to watch the Incredible Hulk. It's not on Disney Plus. It's on freaking. It's on Apple TV, I think. Lou made a list of where they're all available, and pretty much everything's on Disney Plus except for the Incredible Hulk. So I'm into halfway into phase 2. I will say the one thing I have to say is all the cinematic movies that I have watched that I didn't really care for originally in theater,
Yep.
and then like rewatched like after all the Endgame stuff and every movie I thought I didn't like was way better.
Yeah.
Way better. Like all the Thors. The first Thor, I remember it being bad. And I watched it again. I liked the first Thor.
Dude,
I like the
story, like while
I like
not,
this. I think it wasn't what you were expecting, or it was so different from everything else before it in the Marvel universe that it was just like, what is this? I don't know.
I really enjoyed the first Hulk.
Yeah. So anyway,
Sorry, the first Thor.
So like a bunch of stuff that I thought I had not liked that much, or that I didn't like that much, I really liked watching again. Like even the second Thor, and every movie I've gone and watched again, there's so much stuff that I appreciate, or like really emotional stuff that hits differently, knowing how everything played out in the long run. Like especially the Captain America stuff with him missing that last dance, but then like that wrapping around again and all the way in the end of it all, and it's like there's so many cool fucking things, like going back to these movies that are like 8 years old, 10 years old from where they are today, and how they have just woven these stories. It's like it's fucking mind-blowing. It's unreal. Like nothing, like okay, people obviously discredit it all because it's comic books and it's not real. It's not like Oscar winning and this and that. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's just the amount of care and attention and love poured into like doing these characters, these franchises so fucking right on a different level. It's just like, it's unseen. Yeah, there's some dumb stuff in the Marvel movies, but like, overall, it is so fucking good, and I am really happy watching these again and getting a new appreciation for ones that I thought I didn't like. So anyway, it's real fun.
Yeah. Some of them definitely had a bit of cheese that, like I think the first Captain America movie, like the first half of that film was pretty cheesy, with him being that original Captain America.
I totally forgot about him being like the poster boy, propaganda boy.
But it was still fun. Like, and I think that was like for me personally, at least, like I recognized that there was some of those movies that they weren't awesome, but they were still a lot of fun, and like I still enjoyed them. And like that first Thor movie, it's got a lot of funny shit in it. Like it is a funny ass movie.
Yeah,
Like
I
humor is
think
fantastic.
I don't know. I think my mindset was like they were so different from Iron Man, and my knowledge of a lot of the space stuff in Marvel was very limited.
Right.
So I think my expectations were different. But then, with more exposure and Guardians and that universe expanding, I really liked all that stuff later on. But I think
The
that's
Marvel
where
universe is actually really fucking cool.
pardon.
The Marvel universe is actually really fucking
It
cool.
has always been cool, but I'm like an Iron Man Punisher guy, right? Like that's
Yeah.
fucking meat and potatoes and a billionaire with a suit. He's not superpower. Like they're the least superpower characters. They're not. They're just men.
Yeah, I guess so.
Tony's superpower is he's a billionaire genius, and
Sure.
what's Frank Castle's just a freaking murderer. Like,
Yeah.
so it's more. I think I just pictured myself more in those guys' shoes because I could be those things. Well, I could never be Iron Man, but whatever.
Sure.
It's live to dream, right? But like everything else is like gods and superpowers. And like that's. I still love it all, but you know what I mean. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Each their own,
yeah,
for sure.
it's cool. If you go to the Discord, the what you've been watching, there's a pinned post with all the movies, where to watch them, the order of them all. And I'm on Guardians now, which Guardians is so good. But
Yeah.
now I'm getting into the more modern stuff, which is like I know I love all of them, but some of them I haven't watched in a long time, or I only ever watched once. Like
Yeah.
The Incredible Hulk, that was with Edward Norton, right?
Yeah, the first one. So I mean, like, what was it? Iron Man came out, then the Incredible Hulk came out,
But
and then Iron Man 2 came out.
He was, but
Memory serves.
he wasn't bad in it. He was all right, wasn't he?
I didn't mind him as
What happened
Banner
there?
at all.
Like he didn't
He
contract
didn't want
stuff.
to keep doing it, and it. Yeah, I mean, it's Edward Norton. He's notoriously difficult to work with.
Yeah, he's an actor.
Yeah, and like, and in all honesty, I think that who replaced him, I actually think is better, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely not a downgrade, that's for sure.
No,
It would have been.
not at all.
Could you imagine? It would have been interesting if he was still around. I wonder if he actually gets upset now because of the paycheck he'd be making if he was still the Hulk.
No, because he's still fucking Edward Norton, so it's not like he's hurting at all.
What's the last thing he did though? I can't remember. Like, but he does always do some breakthrough kind of fucking role of something that's like. He'll forever be like, what's that freaking the one where he's the skinhead? American History X, is that it?
American History X. Yeah.
Fuck, what a hard Jesus Christ.
I mean, he's been in like The Illusionist, American History X, Primal Fear, Red Dragon, The Italian. Like he's been in so many movies. Like,
yeah, and the thing is like he's an actor.
Yeah,
he's not like, oh, here's Edward Norton being Edward Norton. You know what I mean?
Fight Club, for crying out loud.
It's like he's different in everything. Like
I'm pretty sure he's won an Academy. He's won
yeah,
a Golden.
yeah,
Globe
oh yeah, he's pretty awesome. Like he's not The Rock. The Rock is The Rock in every fucking movie. It doesn't matter what fucking movie it is. If he's a mom or a dad or a chicken or whatever, it's the fucking Rock. You get The Rock. You don't get fucking Goodwill Hunting with The Rock. You just get the fucking big buff guy for your popcorn blow up shit movie, right?
Wade.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, but it's like The Rock. If The Rock ever fucking wins the Academy Award, I'll fucking eat a shoe. But he's never gonna win that fucking Academy Award. Like he just doesn't have that range besides just being himself. I'm fucking huge. I'm beat you up. I'm tougher than you, and I do witty one-liners.
Sure. I mean, The Rundown, perfect. Yeah. Like, it's one of my favorite Rock movies.
And Edward Norton's like he's a fucking actor. Like he does he's the kind of guy who wants to challenge himself and play different roles. So I guess that makes sense. It kind of sucks. It would have been neat to see him keep going, but that's why I want to rewatch that movie because I just finished Avengers and a couple movies now with the new Bruce Banner, and I'm like, I can't even remember Edward Norton. So like I kind of want to go back.
Honestly, I like that movie. It's a shame that we'll never get like another.
They shared a clip in our Discord. And like Hulk like straight up like murders a bunch of people. But they're like military people. And it's like, okay, so how did he's just not held accountable? Because like how do you hold him accountable? Arrest me?
Yeah.
But I guess,
also,
when he, I guess a big,
you guys are being fucking dicks to begin with.
I guess a big thing with Hulk though is when he was originally the Hulk, he was more monster than man, and he's become more man than monster. Like that's his whole arc, right? Like is that how it was in the comics? He was this uncontrollable disaster, and then
I mean, dude, it wasn't even that long ago in the comics. Like, you should go read World War Hulk and stuff. It like at one point in like several years ago, there was an overarching story where the Hulk like became the Hulk and they couldn't stop him, and like he pretty much took down the entire Avengers. He took down everybody to the point where he was deemed so dangerous that the secret society in the Marvel universe called the Illuminati, which is like a whole bunch of top tier superheroes that met in secret to kind of try and figure out the world's problems. They literally all got together and they said that the Hulk is a danger to the world and we need to ship his ass off. And that's actually why. So we ended up with like a whole, like there was several comics where
we can't beat him, get him the fuck out. So that's the whole Planet Hulk shit.
Yep, that was Planet Hulk. Is they literally stuck him in a rocket and sent him off into fucking space.
That's fucking awesome.
And when he comes back, let's just say he's real mad. And that's why you ended up like, so yeah. So like, no, like the Hulk has, and I mean like the whole beginnings of the Hulk were very much the like Hulk smash. Like he, and he was very much a, he would turn into the Hulk and he would just rage and he would just smash everything, and it didn't matter if they were, not the people who he wanted to smash. And it was very much that animalistic, there was a few people that he could kind of help him calm down. Obviously Betty, and some of his really close friends that could kind of like, hey Hulk, come on man, it's me. And and he'd kind of like, oh, and then he'd usually like transform back into Bruce Banner, and he'd wake up in areas and like, but yeah, no, like the whole, for a long time that was very much the Hulk character.
Yeah, well, like just from like Avengers, right? Like even in Avengers to where he ends in Endgame, and Infinity War. It's like that's my favorite scene in the first Avengers is when him and Thor take out a whole crowd of Chitauri, and they're just standing there like taking a breath, and then just Hulk fucking punches them across the whatever through a building or something, because they were having a fight earlier before that they didn't finish.
One of my favorites is when he grabs like Loki and he's just like,
him,
like just
like ragdolls him into the fucking ground. Yeah, I remember laughing quite like belly laugh in the theater. Anyway, Dane, I think that's an episode 264 in the gigabits in your ear holes. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for those of you still watching. If you are, remember you can catch us live on twitch.tv/Geekoholics every Wednesday, plus or minus 8 p.m. except for this week because we delayed obviously for the Xbox stuff. And of course, we're available where all fine podcasts are distributed. Join the Discord server, Geekoholics.com/Discord. Do it. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at RickF, no K, RICF.
You can come hang out with me on Twitter at Dane Cody, at DAYNECODY.
And yeah, the only thing we ask in return is, hey, maybe if you got some Twitch Prime Bezo bucks laying around, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, that, it's free. If you're a Prime subscriber, it's like, doesn't even come out of your pocket. We appreciate that very much. And also, if you don't mind leaving us reviews on any podcast services, namely Apple Podcasts, because for whatever reason, their stupid charts dictate everything. That would be much appreciated. If you have not done it, please leave us a review. Or steal your family member's stuff, leave us another review. Create 100 million fake accounts. Well, then you get us even more. Then we'll become the number one podcast. I'm cool with that. I just don't have the time to do it. So, but anyway, and signal booster shit on social media. It's much appreciated when you guys do. So yeah, that's about it. Dane, I'm gonna say we are out.
Later.
Peace. Ending the stream.